When did you find a loophole in your school's new rule? Our new principal, Mr. Ramos, banned all backpacks because he caught one kid selling candy bars, and that decision turned into the wildest month of my 8th grade year. It started when Roland got busted with a duffel bag full of Snickers and Red Bulls that he was selling between classes. Mr. Ramos had only been principal for 2 weeks and wanted to make a statement about his zero-tolerance policy. Instead of just suspending Roland or banning food sales, he announced over the intercom that effective immediately, no student could bring any type of backpack to school. His exact words were, "If students can't be trusted with bags, then they won't have bags." The next morning was absolute chaos. Kids were stumbling through the hallways trying to carry 8 textbooks plus binders and calculators in their arms. Sarah Chen dropped her entire stack down the main staircase and caused a pileup that made 12 kids late to first period. Leon tried carrying everything in his hoodie pouch until the weight ripped the pocket clean off. I watched my best friend Shyla attempt to balance her science project on top of her history textbook while holding her lunch in her teeth. Teachers started complaining by second period. Mrs. Howell said half her class showed up without homework because they dropped it somewhere between the bus and the building. Mr. Flores, the PE teacher, had kids leaving expensive graphing calculators in the locker room because they had nowhere to put them. Even the nurse reported more kids with back pain from carrying uneven loads of books, but Mr. Ramos wouldn't budge. He sent out an email to parents saying this would teach students responsibility and organization. My mom read it out loud at dinner and just shook her head. "This man has lost his mind," she said while watching me rubber band my books together like some kind of educational brick. That's when the creative solutions started. First, it was Zaria who showed up pulling a bright pink airport suitcase on wheels. Mr. Ramos's face turned red when he saw it, but technically she wasn't breaking any rules. By the next day, half the school looked like we were catching flights instead of going to algebra. Kids had stolen their parents' luggage, and you could hear the wheels squeaking down every hallway. Then Samuel raised the bar by bringing a shopping cart from the grocery store. He decorated it with LED lights and speakers playing music between classes. Other kids got even more creative. Amani used a mesh laundry bag hung around her neck. Elias brought a milk crate with rope handles. The Kennedy twins carried their books in pizza delivery bags their dad got from his restaurant. My personal favorite was when Ashton showed up with textbooks literally strapped to his body, using his dad's old weightlifting belts. He had books attached to his legs and arms like some kind of educational armor. He could barely walk, but he made his point. The secret Instagram page started during week 3. Someone created at Backpack Rebellion and posted a schedule for synchronized book drops. The first one happened during Tuesday lunch. At exactly 12:47 p.m., hundreds of kids dropped their heaviest textbooks on the floor at the same time. The sound echoed through the whole building like thunder. Mr. Ramos went on the intercom demanding to know what happened, but nobody said anything. The next day, it happened again during second period, then twice on Thursday. Teachers started getting jumpy, and some kids who weren't in on it thought the building was falling apart. Everything came to a head on Friday, October 13th. The Instagram page called for the biggest book drop yet at 11:11 a.m., but this time someone messed up. Instead of dropping books, some kid in the East Wing slammed a metal lunch tray on the floor right as everyone else dropped their books. The combined noise was so loud that Mrs. Friedman, the librarian, called the office screaming about explosions. Mr. Ramos hit the lockdown button before anyone could explain. Suddenly, we were all hiding under desks while police cars surrounded the school. Kids were crying and texting their parents while SWAT teams searched empty hallways for a threat that didn't exist. The news showed up with helicopters circling overhead. It took 2 hours to figure out what really happened. By then, angry parents were flooding the parking lot demanding answers. The police chief gave a press conference looking exhausted and annoyed. "This situation was caused by students dropping textbooks as a form of protest," he said while trying not to laugh. "There was never any danger." The school board called an emergency meeting that night. Parents lined up to yell about the ridiculous backpack ban that led to a fake emergency. My mom stood up and said, "My son comes home with bruises from carrying books. Now you've traumatized them with an unnecessary lockdown. This ends today." Monday morning, we all walked in with our backpacks. Mr. Ramos stood by the front door watching silently as hundreds of kids streamed past with their bags. Roland walked by with the biggest backpack I'd ever seen and gave the principal a little salute. The best part was the Instagram page's final post before it disappeared. It was just a picture of a backpack with the caption, "We won."